Welcome to In Touch. Most of us know Karen Keith as news anchor at Channel 2 in Tulsa. On today's show, we'll find out some other accomplishments of this talented Oklahoman. So sit back and enjoy today's show as we highlight Karen Keith.
In Touch with Gene Heck, a public affairs presentation of TV 35, keeping you in touch with the issues and personalities of Claremore and Rogers County.
This is where you'd expect to find Karen Keith, here at Channel 2 in Tulsa. Hi Karen, how's it going today?
It's great. How you doing, Jean?
Good. So this is where you work?
This is the spot.
This is your desk?
This is my little home away from home.
Okay, tell us about a typical day. What time do you come to work?
Usually around 2 o'clock, and we have a staffing meeting then. And I say it like an editorial meeting. I think that's how most people would relate to it. And if I have time, I go to that. If I don't, then I come in here and start working. This is our success story that's going to run tonight. And in fact, Drew and I were just working on this thing so we can get it down. I need to give him some stuff, and it'll kind of give you an idea of what we go through. When Drew and I shot this story last week, and we shot it on 2 tapes, and then we borrowed some video from OETA. It's on this little girl who's going to Broadway, and they had some video of her story. So we borrowed that, and we shot, oh, how much time do you think's on here? 40 minutes a take. And then what I did was I go through and log every word that's on there and put down what we call time code. And it tells, and then we go back through and write the story, and then it comes out like this. And then we go back through and cut the audio, and I give this to Drew and hope that it makes sense. But if not, he always makes sense of it, and then he kind of takes it and embellishes it because he's just a master at editing, right?
And how often do you do your success stories?
Once a week.
Once a week.
Yeah, we shot 2 last week because Drew's going on vacation, so we had to
get
another one out. So we're going to do one on the Jarrett Farms Country Inn. So Drew takes all this back and works on it. How long will it take you to edit?
3 hours. Take about 3 hours to put everything together.
So this is a pretty big project just for one story.
They usually give me the whole day for it because it's had really good response, and people call in about it, and people call in about story ideas and they, good response.
When you edit this, Drew, I notice you do this different than most stories because you seem to take extra pains, so to speak.
Well, it's not a regular story. It's a feature, and we don't get to always do features, so we try to make it stand out. It's a positive story. I mean, it's something good. It's not something bad, and we try to add a little music to it to make it move a little better and just make it flow.
With all the people calling in, how do you decide who's featured on Success?
She's the one that makes that decision. But we talk about to see what would make a good story. There's some that just aren't visually appropriate for television. I mean, they're not that exciting. The idea of these things are to make them exciting and to really come across well.
And what he's saying is he's put his foot down on a couple of things. No, I really don't want to do that.
So the success story was your idea, Karen?
Well, it was sort of these cumulative things. I've been wanting to do it for a while, and then the consultant came in and thought it was a good idea, so I got to do it. We like that.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, great. What are your other responsibilities as a news anchor?
Well, I have to obviously go through and read all the scripts for the 5, 6, and 10 and get ready for the evening newscast. So, like on Friday, Drew and I went out to shoot, and then I came back and I only had 30 minutes to get ready for the show, so the producers were kind of freaking out, but we made it. We always do. You just kind of, do you get used to working under that kind of stress, those deadlines? Well, I don't do well without it. I just go to sleep.
Okay, why don't you show us around?
Well, this area, you can hear all the scanners. And of course, this is where we keep track of what our competition's doing. And then up here, they're going to be coming out of a meeting right down the hallway in just a second. And this board we put up, and it'll kind of have what the day's activities, what they're going to be, who's going to be responsible for what. And like this is Brad's trying to sneak through here right now, and Royal, they're probably headed out to shoot something. What are you going to shoot today? What are you going to shoot?
Today, flooding.
Homeless people.
Flooding, homeless, okay. So they know
So
what
would that be
they're-
up here on this board after
Yeah.
a while? Okay.
And they'll see, usually it's up by this time.
Okay.
But our regular assignment editor isn't here today, so things are a little different.
Okay. So there's a lot that goes into the news other than just sitting down on your set. A lot of
Oh.
preparation time.
Oh yeah, lots and lots and lots. And you all understand that it takes all day to make the whole thing happen. You want to take a peek in the Weather Center since this is kind of a happening day?
Okay.
Let's walk in here. Scott's hard at work right now because those sirens just blew, and he's trying to get ready to go on KRMG. This isn't an everyday occurrence in the Weather Center, but when it does go on, they have to be prepared. And he's trying to figure out why they blew the sirens all over the city.
This is the time of year where we usually don't have to deal with a whole lot of bad weather. This is our dry season. We've had, 4 inches of rain so far this month, 3.5 of it in the last 38 hours. So there's no greenery, there's nothing growing to absorb the water, and we're so cool we can't evaporate it back into the air. So it's just sitting here. And just trying to find out which places in the county are having the problems. You know, why did they blow the sirens? They probably made a mistake in blowing them countywide.
So everything takes place right in here then?
Yeah. When they do their cut-ins, they're right inside here, so that way they don't have to leave their equipment to go out on the set, which is real important. I mean, you saw him pushing the buttons a second ago because there was data coming down every minute. Well, we'll leave them alone, but
Okay.
this is really a great place to where action
See,
can be going on at any given time.
Good luck.
Thank you, Scott.
Here we go.
Karen, tell us what you do before you go on the air.
Well, this is like the last pit stop. Of course, I'd be dressed in a suit normally. I just dress casual for you all. And one of the first things I usually have to patch is under my eyes because I'm a little dark. And see this stuff works. I call it like bulletproof makeup because it
So you
works.
put on your own makeup.
We do our own makeup here. And you fix that part of it. You put on a lot more blush than you would normally use. And then use this to blend it in.
We always look so natural and great on camera.
That's a nice thing to say, Jean. Some days are better than others. And you have all these brushes that, the consultants give you to use so that I think you can do a better job.
And same with your hair. You do your hair before you go on the air.
Yeah, and then we have this stuff, we like plaster of Paris hairspray. I don't want to get it on you, Tim. But this stuff, you just kind of stick it where you want your hair. And this is an improvement. I'm glad we came in here to do this because I scared myself when I saw what I looked like. That's better. No more blush. But
Okay, we're all set.
Good.
Now
Now
let's
let's
go see the set.
okay. Now this is our little home in here where we broadcast the news. And people always say, are you nervous when you're out here? And I have to say no, because I've been doing this for so long that this is probably, I'm as comfortable here generally as if I were at home in my own living room.
How long have you been here, Karen?
11 years. And I've been doing this for
So this is your chair.
Actually, mine's right over here. I've
Okay.
been sitting here because Jerry was on vacation.
Okay.
And Jerry and I come out here and we have our scripts in hand, and the teleprompter will be set up, and we keep these scripts always in order because should the prompter go down, we want to have some type of reference to keep going from.
Okay, tell somebody that may be watching that's not familiar with a teleprompter what that is and how it works.
Okay, it actually matches word for word what we have down here. And this black screen will actually roll our copy up through it so we can see the words right in front of our faces. You can see where the little arrow's pointing, that's where the words would be. And so it just makes us look really, I always say it makes us look smart because it keeps us, it makes you look like you're just looking right into the camera. And
Okay, if there was a problem with the teleprompter, you'd also have your copy in
hard
front
copy,
of you.
yes, this hard copy
Okay.
is so important. It's sort of like if you came out here without your mic or some vital tool, you have to have that.
Do you ever have to go back to that copy?
Yes, frequently. When we put a new system online, so we've had to really rely on it a lot more but things are so much better under the new system. I love it.
And I notice we have a monitor right here. What does this do for you, Karen?
That's our success story coming up. This is just a point of reference. This allows us to visually be able to see the monitors are here, here, and here, but these are sometimes over here in the Weather Center, so we don't have to look around to see where the video is. We can always know that this one's there. The others are roving monitors. They move them in and out.
Okay, so when you go into a story, then this is what shows you that the story is running. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, and then sometimes when you're making reference to a story and you want to add something that actually make the audio match the video. If you see something in there, you might usually you only do that in kickers. But like if I saw that Jerry was in there, and I go, "There's Jerry." He was handing those certificates out to the kids.
Okay.
And
how
it
often
allows
do you
me to
do that? Ad lib or add something?
Oh well, every day.
Okay.
Every day.
So even though there is part of it that's prepackaged, if you will, a lot of it is spontaneous.
Yeah.
That's what makes you such a good
us to
success.
give us our free. Oh, thank you. We just, Jerry and I as a team are just real comfortable with that and allowing each other to kind of do our own thing.
Boy, there's a lot of lights on in here. Do you ever get used to that bright amount of light?
Well, actually, as Tim noticed, Tim's the photographer shooting this, these are much lower light levels than you might see in most studios because our cameras are a little different. So it's much easier on your eyes than some places, and they light it so that you look.
In this area over here, is that where the weather segment is?
Yeah, and this is sort of like a facade because the guts of the Weather Center are back there where we were. And this is just where they can punch up some numbers, and it is like a part of the set.
Okay.
And then the other thing that I think is really neat, this is the city and it's daytime, right? Well, with just a little pull, Dave can change us from daytime to nighttime. And there's Dave, but we're going to talk to him in a second. But you can see there's the nighttime shot. Dave, give us a wave.
It's all yours. It's a nighttime set. And it's lit a little differently. We'll change it in a few minutes, but this seems to work very well. We have this at a lot of our other corporate stations, and this is a real good look for us.
Nice.
Very cosmopolitan.
Yes, yes. We are Tulsa, and it's important to show.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave.
Great. That's great. Now, what are all these monitors over here, Karen? What do those do?
They're mostly cosmetic.
Okay.
Truly, that's just part of the set. And you'll notice, some of them are even off right now, but during the newscast, they would all be on, and with different feeds coming in, and a lot of times it'll be Weather Center related. But you'll see the 24-hour news source graphic is usually up there.
Okay, I have to ask you this. What's the most exciting on-air story that you've ever covered?
Oh, gosh. Probably elections are always exciting. This year was incredible. The flood of '86 was probably the most exciting on air
Locally because of the impacts,
because of
right.
everything that was going on.
Okay, so you're not nervous on the air? You just kind of...
No, really, I tell you what's most nerve-wracking is when you're out live in the field and you don't have a lot of the support staff that we have here because our crew takes very good care of us. They keep us going. But when you're out in the field going live, you're flying by the seat of your pants and just hoping that everything goes well. That's very difficult. And there's a little edge, more of an edge there. But here, I have to admit, I'm pretty
real comfortable.
Very comfortable.
What's the best part of being a news anchor at Channel 2?
Oh, people. It's a great responsibility because you do have access to a lot of people, but people are generally so loving and giving and wonderful. And because I'm on the air, most people come up and treat me as though they have known me all their lives. And it's, what can I say? It's wonderful. And
so you actually epitomize the success stories that you show here on Channel 2?
Well, I don't know about that, but I have a lot of fun doing those. Drew and I just go out and shoot those and have a great time meeting. These are all people who've really done something. And many of them are surprised at how well they've done it for the most part, which is neat.
Okay, is there anything else you want to show us?
Well, I think, if we're going to have some fun with this, anytime there's a holiday around, our crew is wonderful and they get excited. So this is what we're looking at. Tim, let's show them the moose. Up here, Mr. Moose is on top of the camera so we can see that.
Even though this will air after Christmas, you guys are in the holiday spirit.
Yeah, and if Easter comes around, we may have bunny rabbit ears up there. You never know. And then would you like to model this for us?
Oh, okay.
then this is what greets us. Say, stand by. This is what we're going to see out there. Are these things up here? And plus, these kind of fly around too. So I put it on you backwards. There we go.
Okay.
How's that?
So then this talks about the great people that you work with.
Yes, and it is fabulous. I mean, we're like a big family here, and it's really great.
Okay, tell us a little bit about your business venture. I think that's going to be our next stop in the show today.
Oh, well, I'll just take you over there and give you a show and tell. How's that?
Okay,
Let's
sounds
go.
good.
Most of the time in the morning, I'll come up here long before I go to the television station. And we're out in the plaza, next door to the Doo-Wop Diner and across the street from the Old City of Faith. So it's easy to find.
So this is Silver Label.
Yeah, and we're decorated for Christmas, but this will be seen a little after that.
Okay. Karen, where did you get the idea for fashions for the elderly?
Well, our grandmother has Parkinson's and arthritis. In fact, she's a Claremore resident, Irma Featherston, and we wanted as a family to come up with something for her that would work. And once we figured out what would work for her, then we thought other people need this as well. So that was really basically how it was born.
What's a great idea? Show us what you've got over here.
Well, this is Irma, and affectionately named for Grandma. She sits in the store. The sun's made her turn a little yellow. But she's wearing one of the Velcro dresses, and you can see this is wave-like Velcro. So everything opens much easier. And when you have arthritic fingers, it's very difficult to get in and out of your clothes. So this works real easy. And then she's also showing off, these are our wheelchair bags. And they attach to the arm, and they do several things. You can stick things in here, and also this is just vinyl. It's not that comfortable.
That's
So-
great. Well, you could put some sewing or books,
Yes.
anything in there.
Anything you wanted. And then the bag here on the back, if you were to go shopping and wanted to put things in the back, you could do that. So that's real helpful. And then she's wearing, this is a wheelchair blanket. And the way it works, it actually attaches to the side of the wheelchair. If you've ever been into a nursing home, they have little blankets on, but they're usually on the floor. So these can actually attach around the waist or to the arm of the wheelchair or around the neck. And so they keep you nice and warm. There's a great big pocket in the front, and it's built to the configuration of the wheelchair. We have those in a multitude
All
of
these
fabrics.
are just really functional. Did you come up with all these ideas yourself?
No, Kathy and Bertha, some of the original ones I can sort of take credit for, but then Kathy and Bertha every day have hands-on with our clients, and they've come up with so many other items. I'll show you some hospital gowns in a minute.
Okay.
But these little dresses are just a real basic functional garment because these are the back open, and these are for people who need assistance getting dressed. Every time we do a back open, we also do one that is a front open because we have a number of ladies that, like Grandma, are still at home on their own and they are dressing themselves, and they still need something that's easy to manage, which is what
So
this
everything
is.
then has your Velcro fasteners, so
Yes.
it's easy to open.
And then you'll notice we have all these, this is sweatshirt fleece, and what's so wonderful about it, you turn it into a dress, it's warm, soft, and comfortable and easy to wear. And then these are just a number of other garments. Like these are some sweats, but they have a back open. So if the ladies are in a wheelchair, it's much, much easier. All the pants have Velcro flies. They're cut larger in the waist for people who are sitting down a lot. And then these are some of our dressier clothes that if you just belt these up, you know, they look, you can wear them out.
I love the colors. Do you design all these yourself?
No, Kathy and Bertha do a lot of these, and they pick out a lot of the fabrics now, and they keep it up and running. This is one of my favorite things. I just give you an idea of what some of these can look like on. Isn't that cute? But what's easy about it, like these little wrap skirts, our ladies that have arthritis love these. Just show you how easy that is. And you just wrap it around your waist and put it on. So.
Again, too, so a lot of the elderly that have trouble with mobility problems, you know, arthritis,
And then
chronic
if we-
diseases of any
Right,
kind could
exactly.
really enjoy these clothing.
Yeah, and you would understand that because of your practice.
Well, I think we're going to look at your dressing room. You've
Yeah.
got some really neat features in there.
Well, what we try to do with this is we want to think again about our clients, and if they come in here in a wheelchair, this is big enough to accommodate them, or if they're just not real steady, we have a handrail in here to give them a little guidance, and the seat is built up higher because they have difficulty getting up and down, so they can just ease in and still have the handrail to help them up. So.
Boy, you've thought of everything, Karen.
Well, we tried. We also have garments for the men, and I want to make sure that people know that which is it's real important because there are any number of men that may suffer from whether it's Parkinson's or arthritis. They have difficulty dressing. So these have a Velcro fly in them and nice, comfortable, elastic waist, so they're easy to get on and off. And shirts with the Velcro down the front that are absolutely normal. Jean, you're going to like these. These are some hospital gowns, and they're different than what you would normally see. And we call them the No Hiney Shiny. Okay, there's an 8-inch flap in the back, and the Velcro's up high, and which keeps it from abrading on the spine. You can also see in here that all of our labels have a place where you can write someone's name, and that's especially important, actually in a hospital or a nursing home, so they can keep track of the garments. But this has a big 8-inch flap that goes all the way down. And then in the front, we've tried to make them look nicer because some people in a nursing home are in these day in and day out. So just a little touch of lace gives them
really
some
neat.
character.
Yeah.
And then of course the neck is cut into a V, so if you're sitting on it, it doesn't choke you to death. And then we also do a gown like this. And what's important about this, if you have a broken limb, you can take this and get it on them so much easier, or you can secure IVs and
That's
so
right.
on through here.
Any kind of IVs or treatments.
And then
That's
it's got the
great.
little flap here on the side to accommodate.
What I like
other
about
things.
these, Karen, is they're functional, but they're also attractive. Because anybody, like you say, that's been in the hospital has worn those gowns, and a lot of them really start to look kind of dingy after you've had them on for a few days. It's
Yeah,
great.
we do. We just do them in a multitude of colors. This is one of my favorites. It's a little geometric.
Oh, I like that one.
That's
Let's
a
look
real,
at this.
like a unisex.
Oh, that's
pattern.
wonderful. Real bright and cheery.
Isn't that fun?
So, yeah, that is really wonderful. And again, and so the label's in every single garment.
We always, I can throw this in here. I think it's real important that people have their dresses and everything monogrammed, put their person's name on the front of the garment, because so many times clothing just goes to the wrong room in
That's
nursing
right.
homes and so on, and that helps it get back where it belongs. It also allows the person who is helping them, the caregiver or the staff, see this person's name right here instead of calling them Mama, Sweetie Pie, Poopsie. It helps them maintain their identity in a nursing home, and so many times you're stripped of that.
Identity and self-esteem.
Absolutely. So
Exactly.
I really like to see people do that. This is where all the action begins. Kathy and Bertha have laid this out. What they'll do is cut a pattern out of this, and then they'll lay that on layers and layers and layers of fabric.
Boy, this fabric is soft.
Yeah, this is the polar fleece, and this is for some capes that I'll show you in a minute. And this great big old saw is how we cut it. So you see the blade is very long right here, so you can have up to right in here layers of fabric, and it'll just cut right through it. So they'll lay, I don't know how many layers they'll do on that. But then they're back here working away.
So everything is manufactured right here.
Yes. These are the capes that they've been making, and they're made for a wheelchair.
Oh, those are great.
And if you turn them around and back, they're cut up short.
And a lot of times, too, the elderly people are cold and have circulatory problems, and these are really thick. They
Yeah,
really
it's polar fleece, so they're wonderful.
keep you warm.
Yeah. Kathy, if we can bother you, what are you working on?
I'm working on the wheelchair and the walker pockets. They Velcro around the top of the walker or around the arm of the wheelchair. And we do the nice quilted ones. There's a lot of products out there, but they're made very poorly, so they tend to really like our pockets.
How long
good.
have you been here?
2 years.
2.
Yeah, almost 3.
It's been wild.
This is your right hand.
Yes. Yeah, Kathy's my right hand, Bertha's my left, and without him, there's nothing. And they know it. Bertha's working. I think this is one of the little choir dresses. Bertha, what are you doing? You serging?
Yes, I'm shearing the yoke on the choir dresses. This is a fleece choir dress. And this is the shearing blade that gathers.
Yeah, show them
all
how it
together.
works.
Okay, well, you can't really see it. See, this is the blade that gathers it.
Well, Karen, what do you do with leftovers like scraps like this?
Well, we'll end up with huge boxes of these, and the Salvation Army comes and gets them, and the Ladies in the Auxiliary make quilts out of them. They
Boy,
love it.
That's a neat way to use the leftovers.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, now you've got one more stop you're going to
One more
take us
stop.
to today, and where's that?
Over in Brookside.
All right. So Karen, this is the Lantern Inn.
Yes. It's right here in beautiful Brookside.
So tell me, how did you get the idea for a bed and breakfast?
Well, this was an old office back here, and you know, if you rented it out, you could only get $300 a month out of it, and all you need to do is rent it 3 or 4 times a month to do that. And if you have family come in, you still got a place for them to stay. And we call it the Lantern Inn because the people who owned this house previously had lanterns on all of the entrances and exits to the house.
So the name was all ready for you.
Yeah, it was kind of a natural. But the backyard's kind of fun because it's got birdhouses and things everywhere. Now inside here, you're liable to find the cat. This is Kiki Boy, and he gets written about in the guest book because he comes out here and stays with guests, and they just love him. And one night I couldn't find him when I got off work because he always greets me. And I got up the next morning at 6 o'clock and checked all of the trash bins around the neighborhood. I thought somebody'd run over him. And then when I brought breakfast out here in the morning, he was in here just stretching. And that's when I discovered that he likes to stay with the guests sometimes.
So a pet for the weekend.
Yeah, they like him. He gets good accolades for his work in here. This is a little bedroom, little closet back here, and they have a refrigerator, and there's a cheese tray and grapes and crackers, and they have their own coffee maker and glasses and an all-important wine opener.
This is great, Karen. The Lantern Inn.
Isn't this wonderful? A young man made this for me. If you notice, I have birdhouses all over the yard, and he made this for me, and to match the cottage. Isn't that cute?
It's even got its own lantern.
Mm-hmm. And then this is the little, kind of the living area. It's got cable TV and a private phone and all that stuff. And again, little bird things around. I just got a letter recently from a bird book. They're going to publish, or it's a bird magazine, publish an article on some of the different bed and breakfasts. So we're kind of perfect for that.
You've got another neat birdhouse over there in the corner.
Yeah.
And you were in Southern Living just a few months back.
That was a wonderful surprise. I just registered the bed and breakfast with the Chamber of Commerce, and a week later, Southern Living calls, and I said, "How in the world did you hear about us? I can't believe this." And they said, "Well, we're coming to town to do Mayfest, and we want to do an article on Brookside," and we asked them where the nearest bed and breakfast was, and then they found out that I was president of the Brookside Association, so they had everything they wanted. So they came in and we did the story, and it was fun.
That's a great achievement.
Well, it was great fun. I mean, here it was. We were shooting this in the. This was spring, and we had to wear sweaters, and I had to go out and get a bunch of chrysanthemums and put them out because I wanted it to look more like fall. And fortunately, the impatiens hadn't come up great big at that point, so that was pretty funny.
So basically, then this cottage would be for people who are coming to town, want a place that's close to shopping. What are some restaurants in the area that maybe they
there's
could?
some great restaurants. The Grapevine, Nelson Kiefer, he's like the granddaddy of Brookside. He's been here forever. Montrachet is a real elegant restaurant. Orange Blossom, very, very nice restaurant. And then there's Cafe Olé, which is wonderful Mexican food. Across the street from that is the Blue Rose Cafe, some of the best burgers in the city, right there.
Is it S&J Oyster down
And
there?
S&J Oyster Bar, Brookside by day. I mean, it's just it's a mecca of wonderful places. And then after you have dinner, you can go have coffee at one of the 3 coffee houses. We've got Neighbors, Mecca, and Gold Coast. And this takes you out to a little private courtyard. It's got a privacy fence all around it. And this summer, the impatiens were as high as your knees, so it was really pretty. And then the planter boxes were full of flowers. And
Boy, this looks like a great spot to have a morning cup of coffee, read the paper, and just kind of relax.
it's sweet. Good work.
Well, Karen, I want to thank you for being a guest on In Touch.
My pleasure. This was great fun.
Well, you're a great Oklahoma success story.
Oh, thanks.
And thanks to you for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a great week.